Right, hello there ladies and gentlemen and welcome to today's video, and today we're going to look at how to disassemble the Xbox One. So, for those who don't particularly know, and I didn't know up to a few weeks ago until I had a bit of a play with these things, there seemed to be a little bit of trepidation with regards to dismantling these, saying, oh, they're really awkward, they're really fiddly, they all clip together and they're easy to break, and everybody seemed to have a fit about actually getting them apart. To be honest, providing you avoid the pitfalls, I'm going to show you exactly what those are. These things are actually quite easy to get apart. And there's not really a lot to be scared of. To be fair, yes, they do all clip together. But providing you're careful, and as I say, providing you follow the pitfalls and you are careful with them, you can get these things apart really rather easily. And in fact, the new sort of 1200 series PS4s are a real pain in the ass. The 1000 and 1100 series ones were okay. I quite like those, but these, to be honest, are the easiest of the lot to get apart. So that's what we're going to look at today. So first of all, we're going to make sure everything's unplugged. In our case, indeed, it is. Everything is completely unplugged at the back there, and we're ready to go. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the back of the machine, and you'll notice that there is a warranty seal here. So it's only a little one, but you're best off getting a Stanley blade behind it. Now in our case, this thing already appears to be a little bit peeled in the corners, so we're just going to remove it like so. And in fact, this one has a cash generator. Ooh, a pawn shop warranty seal, so we're just going to go across the back of that. Obviously they didn't trust Microsoft's effort and put their own on there. So anyway, now we've got that off, we need to get the end plate off, and the end plate is this one here. So construction wise, these are actually rather similar to what the old 360s were. So anybody who's been in there will have a very vague idea of how we're going to get this apart. So, but in this instance, we only take the top end plate off here and not the bottom one. So this is the side with the sync button, and the sync button's just there. So what I like to do is I like to get a hold, and I get my thumb in the USB 3 hole, and I just pull outward. So just rock your thumb out, and that will dislodge this first clip. And then just get your fingers around the bottom edge and just lightly pull them. And then you can come up to the top edge here and just pop these out. And there you go. Oh, God almighty. Now, this particular machine was sent up with disk read issues. And if you have a look in there, oh my God. This machine obviously belonged to a smoker in a previous life. And I'm glad I've got gloves on because it's disgusting. I don't know if you'll be able to see this. Maybe if I adjust the light so you can. Look at that. Oh. Yep, no wonder this thing's got disk read issues. I bet it's got lots of lovely yellow tarry stuff stuck all over the top of the optics. So anyway, next job is we need to get this little plastic insert here that sits behind the sync button out. So to do that, you want to get either a little flat blade screwdriver into these holes. So there's a hole at the bottom there, just underneath the sync button, and there's a hole there just at the top. So again, I don't know if you'll be able to see this on camera. Hopefully you can. Yeah, you can just see the top one there. Now, I don't have a flat blade handy. Well, I do actually, but I can't find it. So I'm just going to use a pair of tweezers. Don't push too far down, otherwise your tweezers will end up down in this little hole here and you won't be able to push anything. So just in the top there and just slide it that way. Sometimes you will need just to, when you do it, just lift the sync button proud just gently, because if you pull it too hard you will snap it or you'll break and you'll flake the chrome off the edge and it just doesn't look very nice. So just lift it slightly, get a flat blade and just slide it that way. In this case it actually came free quite nicely. So remove that, put it somewhere safe, don't lose it, whatever you do. Okay, so we've done that. So our first two bits of our Xbox are apart. So now we have to go about getting the actual two halves of the shell across. So the two halves of the shell apart, should I say. So we've already removed the warranty seal, so that's not going to cause us any issues. Now then, we're going to start, and there's a clip just here. So there's a clip on this little black piece of plastic just there, okay? The way I like to get rid of this is 2 fingers here on this bottom half, and we pull this way, and my thumb on the top half here, pushing the other way. So these 2 fingers on the bottom half pull towards, and my thumb on the top half pushing away, and you can hear there the click. And then what you do with your free hand, just around where the warranty seal is, just push. Now what you should find, there you go, and you'll notice now that we've got a bit of a gap there, and that's good. So then the next clip is just above here on the actual grill, and we're going to push inwards while applying a little bit of upward force. Now these can be quite stiff. On this particular machine they're actually very stiff, so I want to try and keep this in view for you. This is a lot easier if I can actually manipulate and maneuver this around without having to keep it in focus of the camera. But if you are still struggling, what you can do is you can get something like a spudger tool or something like that just up in the crack. And just apply a little bit of outward force. Now you want to be gentle, you don't want to be too hard with it. And you'll notice that the tab gives way. And the next one is around the middle. And the next one again is just at the edge here. It's just up around here. Just going to try and push it. No, it doesn't want to give. I've actually got it in the wrong place, that's why. This clip does not want to give way. There we go. They can be really stiff, so just persevere with it. So you can see the 3 clips there, look, 1, 2 and 3. So those are now free, which is great. So you've then got another one at the front here. So what I like to do is just pry forward, and that one will just come loose. So again, you want to be gentle, you don't want to push too hard. You don't want to force anything too much. It will give way of its own accord. So now you can see that the front is actually sat up slightly. Okay, so we're just going to tilt it forward. So again, just lift it forward and you'll feel it pop. Now don't be tempted to lift it too far this way. There's a ribbon that connects the front faceplate to the RF board that sits just behind here with a very, very easily damaged ribbon. So just fold it backwards and you'll notice there that's the ribbon. So don't let this come down too far because you will break it. Okay, so this thing has a little clasp here, and rather like the usual ribbon connectors, the edges just pop out. So pop out the top, pop out the bottom, and that will allow you just to flip the ribbon cable out without damaging it, which is all very nice. And then we are into the unit itself, and by God, this is disgusting. Oh my word, this really is disgusting. There is shit all over it. But next thing, now then, this connector here is for the system speaker. So this is the thing that goes bing at you every time you turn it on. It's very easily damaged, this connector, so I don't like to pop that out. Instead, this little system speaker has a clip at the front there. Depress the front, and then it lifts up and out from the back, and then just flop that down the front of the machine. It's well out of the way. On the front of the machine, you will see that the Wi-Fi antenna plugs into a little BNC connector there, rather like the PS4 does. Pop that off. There we go. So next, to actually get into the machine itself, we have several screws to remove. So you're going to need a T10 Torx, and they're not security, you'll be pleased to know. They're just standard T10s. And we also have some T8s. Now the T8s are going to have to come out first, and the T8s, the ones that you need to remove are the two here inside the Wi-Fi module. So the Wi-Fi module there, as you can see, and the two screws, there's one here and there is one just here at the back. Those two need to come out, so that's what we'll do now. We'll remove those. That's one. That's two. So our two T8s now are free. That's all good. And then the board itself has a connector that sits just here on this bottom right edge. So don't be tempted to pull up too hard because you'll break it. And what you want to do is just wiggle it free. If it doesn't want to come, because occasionally it doesn't, just again get the edge of a metal spudger and just very, very lightly apply a little bit of pressure and it will pop off. Now this thing being full of cigarette tar and everything else is all stuck up to high heaven. So this one was proving a little bit tricky. So once you've got those two T8s out, you want to switch to your T10, and there are 8 screws, I do believe, to remove here. So of your T8s, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we are going to remove those 8 now. I'm just going to buzz these out with the electric screwdriver. That's 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we have all 8 of those now removed. And then the top of the shell literally just lifts off. Now again, there's a ribbon cable in here, so I like to fold it this way, and then you'll actually be able to see the ribbon cable there. That just hooks off like that, and then the top half of the shell can be removed. Oh, this is disgusting. This is disgusting. Oh God, I feel unclean. It stinks. Oh my word. It smells of 4-year-old fag smoke, which is an achievement because these have only been out just over 2. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is a good advertisement for why you shouldn't smoke, because if this is what the inside of an Xbox looks like, I dread to think what the insides of your lungs do. Oh God. Anyway, the two connectors, there's a SATA and a signal power, rather like the Xbox 360, if anybody recognises. Just disconnect those two. And the optical drive literally just lifts up and away from the machine. That's the bit we're interested in. That will be on another video for you shortly, because we're going through this one. This particular machine has discrete issues. From here, what we will do is we will remove the SATA connector for the hard drive and the signal connector for the hard drive. The caddy lifts out, and we'll pop that to one side. As I was saying then, you have 3 T8s which sit on the RF board, which we will remove. Those are now removed. We will flip this round, and as I say, there's one just here at the back which holds this little white support in, so we will remove that one. Okay, that then removes this black one at the front. Literally, there's 2 clips there on the side, and then that lifts out. we can remove the metal shield. Then from the base, this is all going to want a good clean, which is why, to be honest, just thought sod it. The connector for the front of the RF board is just here. That pulls free, and you can put that assembly complete with the speaker again to one side. Then the board itself, oh god, I'm trying not to get this everywhere, but I'm not really succeeding. We'll remove the T8s from around the X clamps, so there's 4 of those. They're a little bit longer than what they used to be on the 360. That is those out. Just pop them over there. Right, so once we've done that, our T10 then comes into play and removes the 4. So there's 2 down by the power plug. And there's 2 more there, just on the top left corner by the USB port. Lovely jubbly. Okay. The board then. Oh, there is another standoff here as well. Again, just like the other black one, pushes in at the corners and lifts out. Then get hold of the board. It can be a little bit tricky to remove. But just rocket corner. It tends to like to stick over here in this bottom corner where the power goes in. Just try and wiggle it free. And there we go. So that's that. That's all free now. Board is out. There's crap all over my desk. There's crap all over my desk at the best of times, but nothing quite like that. Oh, it's all over my trousers as well. Honestly. Anyway, that's all good. Power connector for the fan comes out. And then you've literally got the X clamps on the underneath. Now we do have another video on how you can remove these X clamps. And that also goes through to explain how you can remove the thermal paste as well. Okay, so we want to remove the X clamps. So exactly the same as on the 360s. So there were some X clamp removal tools kicking around. If you've got one of those, feel free to use it because it should work. Failing that, you need a tiny little flat blade screwdriver, and what I like to do is pick a corner, any corner you like, and just stick the blade just down where it starts to bend there, and then just rest the blade on the actual X clamp itself curves around. It's like a C shape, so rest the bottom of the flat blade on the bottom of the C, and then just peel it upwards, and you'll start to see it move. And then go back around the other side and do the same again. You'll start to notice now it lifts up, proud of the stud, and there you go. So rinse and repeat on each one. It can get a little bit fiddly at times. Don't go too hard on it. Don't be tempted to pull these or be too aggressive, because if you do that, there are lots of little tiny delicate traces and components around the bottom of this X clamp which you can very, very easily damage or knock off. Now that one is being a little bit awkward, so we'll go around to this third side here. Just about being persistent. As I say, don't be tempted to go too gung-ho on it. You'll get it, and there you go. And then the bottom of that literally just lifts out. Oh my word. And there we go. The thermal paste has seen better days. This thing is covered in dust. And the heatsink itself, look at that. Nice. Yep, so we're going to take this all apart. We're going to take, well, we've taken it apart. We're going to take it all outside and we're going to give this a damn good blast off. I have a new mat. I think now is going to be the perfect time to actually get it out. Because this thing is covered in manky fag smoke, dust and everything else. It's bright yellow. It's mustard yellow. I feel sick now anyway, but there we go. So if you're on a diet, or you're looking to go on a diet, get a few of these things open. It'll probably work for you. It's put me off my tea anyway. Right, so we'll take these apart. Sorry, we'll take these apart. We have taken these apart. We'll take them outside and give them a clean. This particular machine, as I say, has a disc read issue, and we're going to get that on another video for you where we look at repairing that. The drive's probably full of fag smoke and dust, probably. It's probably the issue. Anyway, that is how you disassemble your Xbox One. Thanks for watching.